Genevieve, did you know that right now, worldwide, 323 million people are using dating apps to meet new people? Yet, despite this staggering amount, so many singles still report feeling dissatisfied with the experience. I need to know, why do you think that is?
Oh, it's an easy one to answer. It really is. Because over 50% of those people are not really single or not really invested in finding a relationship. Most of them probably, because we get clients coming to us all the time, and I've done a lot of work with clients from a coaching perspective who've been burnt out from online, from constantly thinking they're meeting someone who wants to be in a relationship with them, only to find out that they're actually in a relationship with someone else, or they're just looking for something casual rather than a committed relationship. I think the problem with online is people are not honest online when they're filling their profiles in. We already know people put photos up that are 10, 15 years out of date. They put on information for ages. Most people lie about ages. I think this was an interesting statistic. I think it was about 80 or 85% of people lie about their age on their online profile. So you never really know who's honest and who isn't. And I think there's a lot of fear and anxiety that's come from online dating.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's really sad, but it makes sense.
Sad but true.
Yes, sad but true. But for all their faults, dating apps like Tinder or Bumble or more, they exist because it's just so hard to meet people nowadays. So without dating apps, what other options are left for single people? How can you find love without apps?
Well, I think apps serve a purpose. I think apps are good if you want to just put yourself out there and work out what you do want, what you don't want,
Mhm.
and build your confidence up in speaking to people when you're starting to date. If you go in there with that attitude, you're not going to get hurt. So I think they have a place and they serve a purpose. If you're looking for a real committed relationship, then they're not really the place to be. Unfortunately, when they first started, there was a stigma about being online.
Yeah.
The sad and lonely and the desperate that would go online. That was the stigma. That stigma's gone. Thank goodness it's gone. But unfortunately, it attracts the wrong attention now. So people are left. And I think post-COVID, people now want more and more face-to-face connections. They want to meet people. So there are events, there's quite a few single events that are starting to come up again that you can meet people, and you can meet people face to face. You can ask your friends and family to introduce you to people and your work colleagues, and just let people know, hey, you know what? I'm going to give this dating thing a go. Are you able to introduce? Does anyone know anybody? I've even seen recently people taking out adverts and billboards and and trying all sorts of different things to attract attention. Even recently, I read an article where within the Asian community, younger Asian singles are begging their parents now for an arranged marriage. It's taken them years to fight against arranged marriages, where they're getting to a certain stage where they're getting burnt out, where they're actually begging for their parents to get involved and create an arranged marriage where they have a say in that process. So we're seeing all sorts of things that are happening, but we're also seeing a huge rise in people coming to matchmakers, and people coming through the door saying, you know what, I've got a personal fitness instructor. I go to a dentist to sort my teeth out, or an orthodontist for my teeth. I've got all these professionals helping me in every area of my life. I need someone to help me with love. We know that love is one of those elusive things that some people, is it luck or is it good judgment that gets you into the right relationship? Who knows? People have said all sorts of different things, but one of the things that we know through the work that we do is values based. And when we look at values and the way that we match and how we match people, our success rate is much higher than it would be online or with any other way of meeting someone, because you've got matchmakers working on your behalf to look at who you are, understand who you are, what your values are, what are your life goals? What are your relationship goals? And understanding all of that, and then matching you with someone who's very similar, who's got the same plans for the future, the hopes, wishes, wants, and desires as you do. And those key life values are so important. It almost saves you 3-4 months of dating. I remember someone once saying to me, I thought, this is so spot on. What you're doing is you're fast tracking my dating experience, because I could go on 20, 30 dates, and actually I know everything I know about someone on the first time I meet them, because you've already done that for me. So I'm almost fast tracking to 3-4 months down the line of knowing everything I need to know is aligned, and I can just date with confidence, have fun, and enjoy the process. And I think that's what's so special about dating through a matchmaker, is you can actually relax and enjoy the process.
Yeah, I mean, you say that and it seems like the obvious choice. However, I have to advocate here, because there's another advantage of apps, and that they're free. That's hard to compete with. But what
Well,
if the
they're
cost of
free, but they're not free.
tell me about it, because
Yeah,
it's technically free, but like,
but it's not free. That
how
most
is it?
apps aren't free. Most of them aren't free. So you've got free, you can do so much for free on an app, but the majority of the apps for relationship-minded people, there's subscriptions.
Mm.
There's, if you want to communicate with more than so many people in a day, there's a subscription to pay. And when you're dating in this way, you're often multiple dating. So when you're there's an investment financially. You've got the subscription fees, you've got the going out, getting your clothes, going on a date, paying for a date, going, maybe paying half. Some people, they say, are going on 3 dates a week when they're really invested in trying to find someone. Now you're investing that money on going on dates, maybe taking taxis, maybe getting babysitters. There's all of those things that you have to add up. And I can't remember who it was, but there was one of the conferences I went to, they put the cost up of actually a year on dating apps and having maybe an average of 2 dates per week versus the cost of a matchmaker. Well, the matchmaker was cheaper by about 60% than trying to do it yourself for a year. So actually matchmaking saves time, saves money, saves energy, saves your psychological damage as well. I'm not saying everyone's going to be psychologically damaged, but people get burnt out. And it gets to the point that when you're on that, you can't work out who is right and who is wrong, and who's lying and who's authentic. And it becomes very muddled. We hear all the time of people saying, I just need to come off the apps. I just need a break from this. It's just psychologically doing my head in, and I'm just exhausted from it. Dating fatigue is now a real thing. And that's because of app dating. We take all of that stress and strain away. We put you on one date to invest in at one time, one date at a time, so that you really get to meet someone on your level with your wants, wishes, and desires, and go off and explore that. Sometimes it's a one and done. Sometimes it might take 10, 15, 20, 30, but it's not the hundreds of conversations and the hundreds of dates that people need to go on. So it is a fast track process.
Yeah, well, I'm sold. Matchmaking has won in my book, and I think it has won in all of our viewers' books as well. So thank you, Genevieve. I really feel that this shows the true value of matchmaking, especially over dating apps. So thank you for joining us and shedding light on this topic.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Also, for anyone who might be interested in our matchmaking services, we invite you to visit the Matchmaking Company website at matchmakingcompany.com, and you can also find all of this information below. And if you like this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more weekly content. So until next time, thank you and see you soon.